Okay, so I want to tell you about how I felt about this video game after 13 hours of playing it, and I can expect many, many more hours to come. So honestly, I am absolutely enchanted by this game so far. I knew I would be because I love Morrowind so much. I just started playing Morrowind a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago or something. And I surprised myself with how much I've enjoyed that experience, but I think I kind of prefer the Oblivion experience. Even though both are great, Oblivion so far is kind of like peak for me because, well, actually, before I get into that, there was something else I wanted to say before. Oh. Well, this does... Okay. Let me just show you this, because I thought it was a really beautiful gesture. Okay. This right here. Skyblivion mod makers were all given Oblivion Remastered keys by Bethesda. I wanted to point this out a second ago, because I really thought it's such a nice thing for them to do. It just shows the mutual respect and the appreciation for fellow people that love Oblivion. And they know full well that it's the modding community that's kept Skyrim alive for all of these years. Actually, I scrolled down and the comment was, by Molog's balls. That is pure class from both teams. It's wonderful to see the mutual respect demonstrated. Yeah, I thought that was really sweet. It's very positive, and it's worth mentioning. I'm surprised in a good way. Yeah, so I thought that was really nice. Okay, but anyway. My first impressions. Loving it a little more than Morrowind. But I think before I get into the things that I really love, I should first talk about the things that I don't. So we're gonna be balanced here. Okay. First thing, the biggest thing, the worst thing, the most serious problem for me is that the difficulty sliders are completely borked. Completely. There's actually... This is a pretty common complaint from what I've seen so far. There's this meme about it. What the f is with the difficulty slider, guys? Okay, I started on normal, on adept mode, because it's my first time playing Oblivion, and it is so easy. The enemies are dying in like one hit, maybe 3 or 4 hits if it's a big quest boss. And because of this, I've been running around without pants on for 5 levels, and it's been fine. So I thought yesterday, this, you know, I'm ready for a little, I want to feel a little bit, I want to sweat a little bit, right? So I bumped it up to expert at the start of the stream yesterday, and it was a disaster. Like, suddenly I'm getting 2-shot, chunked by the mobs. I had to chug every single potion I had to survive, and even that wasn't enough. The jump was huge, and I could not progress because of it. That's when I realized, oh, maybe not having pants on is a problem. That's not right. You know, there has to be, that's why there has to be a more gradual difficulty curve, so that I know what I need to prioritize, because I want the challenge, but there's just not a realistic transition there, because the mobs just die too fast for me to learn anything. The mobs are dying too fast for me to train, so I don't learn naturally how I should improve, and this is a problem for me because I love to suffer. I love suffering. You know that. You've seen my Elden Ring streams, probably. And Elden Ring's probably my all-time favorite game. But, I can't get delicious pain if I don't have the tools that I need to improve, right? In a satisfying way. Like, the difficulty should be punishing, but it should also teach you, ideally. There is actually a mod out for this already. New mod that's out. Difficulty slider fixed. What it does is it just gives you a more granular control over the difficulty, which is, that's what I want. I just want a way to, like, ease into the difficulty without slamming into a wall, right? This way I can learn and adapt, and I can earn my suffering. Like in Elden Ring. That would make the suffering delicious. Okay. That's it. That's the first thing that I don't like. That's a problem. Next thing is... Actually, let me pull up this other link here. The lip syncing is actually great, but the facial expressions, I think they leave something to be desired. Now, this is kind of a nitpick for me because the game has such quality writing that's what matters. That's what actually brings the character to life, and for me. With quality writing, like, a rock can seem alive, you know? But still, I do think facial expressions could use some more nuance. This is what I wanted to show you. In the reveal stream, when they were interviewing Wes Johnson, they asked him, what do you think about Sheagora? And he had... Let me show you what he said, because... Let me mute the game for a second. Okay.
He looks a little bored.
I think he's just not mad enough yet.
He'll get there. Oh, there, I saw. Oh, let's see the expression changing slightly.
I love the hand tap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he said, you know, he seems bored. I see the expression changing a little, slightly changing, and I think this is valid. I think I kind of got the impression that he wanted to see a more expressive face. But with that said, regarding the faces in general, I actually love how wacky and how alien and fantasy a lot of the faces look. Like, that's Elder Scrolls. It's supposed to be weird. Like, if you want to look like a Barbie doll, Nexus Mods is right there, you know? I think, personally, it's very refreshing to have just bizarre, strange faces overall. And they really let you make some abominations as well, which I love. Like I said, Khajiit, Argonians look incredible. But those are the main, like, it's only 13 hours in. But these are the two things that I would point out as the stuff that I didn't love. Now moving into the reason why I feel so enchanted with this game and why I'm enjoying it so much. I really spent a lot of time thinking about this yesterday after the experience that I had, because I think what makes it feel alive is how it celebrates curiosity and patience. Like, one thing leads to another, which leads to another, which leads to another. And because of that, because of how well all these things are interconnected, it gives you this sense of, like, serendipity. It almost feels like things are just happening because they're meant to happen. Oh, it's just so, how convenient that I just happen to be here for that thing. And this is something that I think the modern RPG doesn't really offer to this extent at all. So the reason that I started to feel like this is because of yesterday. when, God, where do I even start with this story? Okay. I was in the Mage Guild in Bruma, and I overheard a rumor. Not a quest marker. I was in the guild, and I'm listening, and I can hear the tea spilling about some lady who's like, they're like, oh, did you hear about that lady? Oh my God, her lover was arrested for stealing her money. And I'm like, oh, what? And because you've heard this, you can choose to follow up on it. And so I decided I'm gonna go help that lady. Long story short, I got sent to jail for stealing, and I killed her. So now she doesn't have any more problems. Technically, I did help, but basically because I had stolen something and I got sent to jail for stealing, I got the letter to join the Thieves Guild. And that ended up being like this competition between me and 2 other hopefuls that wanted to join. And what was so cool about this is that once we all showed up at the meeting, the quest had started then and there. And I didn't even realize this. Time was ticking as soon as the conversation is over, but I didn't know that. I asked a beggar, hey, where's this thing that I need to steal for the competition? And he's like, oh, go over there, this part of town. So I go there. And then when I'm there, I see my opponent already 10 steps ahead of me. And I see her turn a corner down a back alley. And I'm like, oh crap, I gotta follow her right now. Which is a choice that I made. Like, emerging from snap reasoning in the moment, not a quest objective. You see what I'm saying? I saw her turn a corner and I'm like, oh, I better see where she's going. She's gonna know where that thing is. She can get there before me. That was so cool. That's so cool. It was not a quest objective. I follow her into the building. I see she's sneaking around in there. She gets the thing before I can. And then I'm like, later actually found out if you're faster, you can beat her to it. And then I'm like, where the hell does she go? She's gone. I have no idea where she's headed. I have got to figure it out. And so I'm snooping around close to where that we met at first, and I find her house. And I'm thinking, well, it's late. She should be heading home soon. So it's just so refreshing to be like reasoning through these things instead of just checking off tasks. Okay. So she comes home, she falls asleep. I use a chameleon spell to cloak myself, and I lockpick her chest. Her roommate's back is turned. I slip out, and I'm like, yes! I got it! I barely did it. And it was so sick. Like, it was so amazing because it felt like I had done this impressive heist. Like, I really felt like I pulled off this crazy theft. Not because the game told me how to do it or even what to do, but because the game invited me to think like a thief. That's the quest. That's what it asked me to do. That's so cool. And it's so funny too, because actually, when you join, when the guy's like, congratulations, you did it, you can ask him, hey, so are you gonna give me like quests now and jobs? And the guy's like, what? No, you're a thief. Go steal shit. Like, why do you need my permission to do that? You're on your own. He's like, we do have a fence you can use if you need it. Bye. And it's so refreshing, because it's like any modern game would be like, congratulations on joining the Thieves Guild. Here is your job board. Please check back daily and weekly. But no, he's like, what the f? You're a thief. Go steal things. And that was awesome. That's what I love about this. And it's also what I love about Morrowind. But the thing is, I think that the reason I like more Oblivion a little more is because Oblivion is slightly less merciless about it. Compared, like, I think Oblivion is a much better balance between Morrowind and Skyrim in terms of, like, how much guidance you get. At least in the remaster. I didn't play the original, so I'm only talking about the remaster. But yeah, that was so cool. That was just, it really shook me. After the stream, I just reflected on this, thinking about how amazing that was. Because I would say, in terms of the guidance Oblivion gives you, there have been times when I wasn't really clear on where to go, because I have ADHD. I will get lost. But in Oblivion, if you look, there might be a tiny hint about, like, a general direction to get started in. They're not going to tell you how to do it, usually. But they'll tell you, like, where to be to make the magic happen. Yeah, that's really all I'm asking for. It's, like, it doesn't hold your hand, but doesn't leave you lost. That's what I was trying to tell you before. Lets you wander but not be lost, and just invites you to pay attention. So, like, it's encouraging you to be more present and more curious, so that you'll just follow a little hunch, like, oh, I got a hunch, I better follow her around the corner. And it's so rewarding, and it's so immersive, and it's awesome. Okay, so that, amazing. Other things that I want to mention. Character creation. I really enjoyed the character creation. Kudos to them for letting people make the abominations. I do wish we had more hairstyles. I wish we had antlers for Bosmer. That feels like a miss. But it's not a big deal. Modders are gonna fix that. The voice acting and the writing has blown me away. I did not expect Patrick Stewart. That was an amazing surprise. And I'm told Sean Bean is a voice actor. Wes Johnson is a treasure, obviously. I really feel the way the writing is makes you feel the weight of the events, you know? This moment in the sewers with the Emperor right before you get out, right? That was pretty chilling for me, because it's like there was this eerie, mystical feeling of, like, fate and foreknowledge. It was a little creepy. It was cool. I think it was a really great way to get rooted into the vibe of the world. I've said it a million times on stream, but God, it is so beautiful. What I said a million times, and I'm gonna say it probably every day, it reminds me of when I first went to Skyrim in 2011, and it was so nice. That's how I feel. Really, that's how I feel, though. That's the same kind of vastness and awe that I'm experiencing in the game. Especially contrasting that with Oblivion portals. For me, probably the most incredible part of day one was going into that portal and how otherworldly and oppressive it felt, and what a huge contrast it was from Cyrodiil. There's, like, vines lashing at you, there's these corpses hanging that are on fire, like, it was very different. It was very cool. It was like Doom. It felt immense. There was a sense of scale there. It was alien. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I was trying to say. Alien. Metal as fuck. It was just unlike anywhere else. In terms of the combat, I'm happy with it. It feels fun. It's not floaty. It doesn't feel floaty to me like Morrowind does, or Elder Scrolls Online feels floaty. It's better than those things. I'm enjoying aiming spells and missing a lot of the time. When you hit someone with an arrow, like makes a satisfying noise. Stick it in their butt. Yeah. And with a sword, you might, like, angle it down with a dagger like that, which is cool. I'm happy with the combat. What else? Lockpicking, God. Lockpicking? It's so hard! I think I'm getting better at it. But everyone in the chat is like, yeah, that's just like how I remember. It should be really painful and bad, yeah. And as painful as it is, I respect the hell out of the fact that they kept it true to the pain that you're meant to feel. Because apparently there's ways to get around this. You can like learn lockpicking spells, you can force the lock, so. I will say that in terms of them respecting the jank, that's something that really has infused a lot of magic into this experience. Actually, I saw this on Reddit yesterday. In terms of the ridiculous extent to which they have kept jank in, I gotta show you this. Okay. They actually kept in this voice acting mistake from the original. Listen.
What can I do for you? I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night. Wait a minute, let me do that one again. I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night.
Isn't that great? They left that shit in. On purpose. Do you realize how beautiful that is? I almost feel a little emotional about that, and I didn't even play the original game because I feel like... But this game is gonna make me even, like, such a boomer. I have such a boomer takes about games now. Okay. Like, nowadays, every game trying to smooth out the rough edges. Bethesda's here in Oblivion trying to protect those edges from getting sanded off. Like, knowing that sometimes the imperfections and the jank, it adds to the charm. That's nice. Preserving that deliberately and with love, it gives me hope. Okay. It's just, like, it's not to say that there isn't polish, because the game is stunning. But, I guess it's just, it's not always easy for a company to know when to stop with the quality steamroller, the iron, you know, if it makes any sense. It feels like that's an issue that you need to handle with care and attention, and they've been doing that with more care than I'm used to seeing. And actually, the abomination faces we talked about a little bit yesterday. I saw this post looking in to see people's opinions about the remaster. It's just like horrible, cursed things. The comments were, I really think they did this on purpose. They didn't need to, and it could have easily been stopped, but they left it in the game. And I thought that's right. Like, that's somewhat a theme of the remaster. A lot of times they could have done stuff differently, but they didn't. They embraced the weirdness of the original and tried to recreate them. I love that. I feel like that's really special and beautiful thing. Embracing weirdness instead of sanding it down. Like, to me, it gives me joy. I guess I feel like it's so important right now in this world, because it's like proof that strange, goofy shit still has a place. in 2025. Like, maybe we're not doomed to a future where everything is gonna feel all the same. So yeah, that's really it. I never, like I said, a million times, never played Oblivion when it came out. And thank God for that. Because between it and World of Warcraft, I probably would have dropped out of school. Like, there's no way I would graduate. Like, thank God I didn't do that. So I think I'll be here a while. It just feels like this is really important for me to do for my soul. Like, this is something that I spiritually need. I need to let myself wander without forcing it. Like, just for the love of the game. That's what I'm gonna be doing. So I want to thank y'all for coming along for the ride. I'm really looking forward to today and to tomorrow. I think right now what I'm most looking forward to is probably it's finally waking up from a rest to some like sexy Dark Brotherhood assassin who's gonna whisk me away to the sanctuary, and that's where Sithis will crown me his favorite princess. That's what I'm imagining is going to occur in my mind. That's what I really want to happen. Yeah. That's... I'm having a blast. But yes. You don't even know. Oh my god. You guys, like, if you think I've been unhinged about the game so far, we haven't even got to the part that I'm obsessed with. Which is Dark Brotherhood shit. I think, though, yesterday we did, like, 5 hours of pure crimes. We just did crimes for 5 hours. The more I play, the more crimes I'm committing. At first I was like, no, I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna be good. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Sepple would have had a 6th grade education. God. That's funny. Yeah, so anyway, that's my first impressions after 13 hours. Maybe I should do another first impressions after, like, I don't know. What's the next milestone? I don't know. But this will be fun. Okay. Let's dive in. 30. How about 50, maybe, or 100? Second impressions, second breakfast. I agree with Have. When it feels right. Yeah, I'm not gonna force that. It's just, I felt like I had a lot to say after 2 days. And now we can dive back in.